for me, incorporating technology into our practice is about improving efficiency in our practice. So
Good to see all of you guys here. And as I mentioned in a previous post, technology isn't just about integrating in the latest and greatest. It's about integrating in all types of technology, whether it be innovative business models or innovative marketing strategies or maybe innovative product lines to grow our practice and ultimately grow the industry for all of us. And growth isn't always about being better. Sometimes it's about being different. And so I'm here with Dr. Amanda Gallagher, who's queen of being different. She always plays by her own set of rules, queen of authenticity, and building a brand about who she truly is. So Amanda, would love to hear from you regarding what technology means to you and how you've been able to integrate technology into your practice.
Yes, well, John, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here, and it's always a pleasure to, talk to you. And, technology for us in our practice is incredibly important. It wasn't always there as I purchased an office that was 35 years old. This was back in 2013. There was paper charts, all that kind of stuff. So, we had to kind of take our time to adapt new technology into the office. But for me, technology is about staying ahead of the curve. So not only that, and I think that's a lot of the reasons why a lot of us are very involved in technology and the new things that are out there, whether it be x-ray machines, iTeros, all different scanners, printers, and all that kind of stuff. But for me, incorporating technology into our practice is about improving efficiency in our practice. So the one thing that is important for our practice, because now we had just opened our third office in the summertime, and it's just a solo owner, but we do have multiple associates. But technology is important for efficiency and growing the business. But as we have more doctors that are practicing with us, it's about helping to improve the efficiency and treatment outcomes as well. So using technology in multiple ways to help, grow our office is incredibly important. And, for anybody who's looking to grow their practices, it is really important to have the right team in place to help you grow and help you continue on with technology.
So what types of technology do you leverage? And I mean, it could be all, whatever pros you have.
We do have multiple iTero scanners in each office. So we're fully digital impressions, especially after COVID. We used to take impressions when we would take off braces before, but now we have eliminated all impressions. So we have multiple scanners for all of our appliances, for all retainers. We have multiple 3D printers. So the other thing is too, we've brought all of our lab work in-house. We do all of our own 3D printing of the models. We make all of our own appliances, except for like Herbst and Lar and that kind of thing. But we're constantly, using those 3D printers and, leveraging that technology. Regarding technology of treatment, there's definitely ways that I look to continue to improve our efficiency, but technology of treatment for me, especially having multiple doctors, I really want to get everything on the 3D control as far as Invisalign, InBrace, whether it be light force or doing some type of indirect bonding. Again, it's about creating efficient outcomes and predictable outcomes for the patient. So the technology with how I can control Invisalign, as long as those patients are wearing them, we're going to get what we need to do because we know how to treatment plan that now. InBrace, the same thing. It's a learning curve right now for me, but again, same type of thing. I know where I'm setting the teeth, and I know that as long as we get that InBrace on there correctly, that we're going to be able to get those efficient outcomes. Now, the braces part, that is going to be the next thing I want to explore in the future is, just being able to do the indirect bonding. So, whichever company we ultimately decide to go with, I do think that's important for the bracket positioning and the efficiency and timing of treatment.
Creating new categories, blue ocean strategy. Right. I think as an orthodontist, maybe coming up, I thought a lot that life was a zero-sum game, that there's only X amount of starts out there, and just watching you and what you're doing and just kind of like having successful clear aligner practice and labial practice and, you know, all these other modalities and a businesswoman and a mom, you know, I mean, how do you do all these ands, you know, and not the either ors?
Right. So, well, thank you. You know, it's not just going to the office to straighten teeth, right? It's about building confidence. We all know we do this to build confidence in people, make people feel good about themselves. But while we're there doing that, it's just overall, you know, the feeling of warmth, kindness, but really helping people feel and look their best in general. And, you know, the practice that we've built, it is a very much of a salon-like practice, I guess you would say. And at first, you know, when I would talk about this before, it's like, okay, I wanted to build a practice where moms would feel like bougie, right? Like where moms would feel like really good to come in and bring their kids. Well, that has now changed to most people don't feel comfortable going into the standard traditional orthodontic office. They feel more comfortable coming into a place that looks, you know, a little bit more high end. And then they see the treatments that we offer. So for us, it's been adapting new technologies and the kinds of treatments that we're doing. I mean, especially with InBrace has just literally blown up, attracting the new patient to our office that would not wear Invisalign aligners. And now we're able to give them another way to treat, right? So it's attracting new groups of patients. And that's that what you abundance mindset, right? The blue ocean, right? So is that there are plenty of patients that are out there, but you know, just finding that niche to attract that right patient to your office. But yes, it's growing everything in general. You know, we're about to make Diamond Plus. I'm like 5 cases away from Diamond Plus right now, which again, we just went from Platinum to Diamond and Diamond Plus all within a span of like 3 months here.
Wow.
So we're doing
with
that
COVID.
With COVID, and then, but you know, again,
and bringing in InBrace to your practice.
Yeah, and bringing InBrace in. So, you know, so we're building all those parts. And I know that not everybody is the same. And I'm aware of that. But why is it different for us than other people? I don't have a definite answer, but I know it's more about a feel. And I've been very engaged this entire year with my audience. So my audience and the people that I prefer to speak to every day are my patients and my potential patient pool. And so I'm not looking to necessarily post before and after cases. I do for fun because it is fun to do that and then be that ortho nerd. You know, to show people, for me, honestly, posting cases is like, I know I want people to understand that I'm still doing, despite doing all this stuff that I do, that I'm still doing really good work. Like, it's not like, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You don't have to have like an incredibly insane practice and then be doing crappy work, right? So trying to maintain high quality standards. And I want people to understand that I'm still doing crazy orthodontic treatment at really high quality, but you know, and can still talk to my audience.
You mentioned something earlier, Amanda, and you talked about customers, consumers versus patients.
Yeah.
And is there a difference to you between a customer, a consumer, and a patient?
Yeah, I should say not necessarily. I mean, they're all become the same because they're all consumers of the product that I am selling. And so, but I guess that is also the difference in mentality too, right? Is that they are all patients, like, and I treat them all like patients and I care for them all like patients. And I'm going to do everything to do the right thing by them and treat them, you know, like they were my own family, and they feel that, but they are a consumer. So when it comes down to it, what are people, I want to be in line with what people are deciding to consume. What are the things that I like to see? What do I gravitate towards? And that's what I want to put out there for other people to gravitate towards me. So yeah, so as a consumer, people are very into aesthetic treatment. So it is the aesthetic consumer. It's the people who want Botox and filler and whitening. It's that mindset that's going to be seeking aesthetic treatment. So they are a consumer, they become my patient.
I've really been impressed with how you've been able to create this brand and this presence on social media. And can we talk a little bit about that? And just, what does that mean to you? How do you do it? How do you go about thinking about these things?
It has been, growing social media has been really important because the patients, the moment they enter the office, they know me. And I know that we've talked about this before in different groups, but they really do have the true sense of who you are. And so from a conversion standpoint, they come in knowing you, they know they're already aware. Again, the consumer is already aware of what else is out there, but they choose you, they're going to convert, so it has played a role to help increase conversions, I would say. And then to also share what I have out there. So again, they're learning about InBrace before they even come into my office because they saw that I got InBrace on, or they saw that I posted somebody who got InBrace on. From that perspective, I mean, if you can put yourself in the shoes of the patient, and it's like, I now fully understand how to prepare the patient for what they're going to experience. And it makes me feel more confident and, sharing the treatment with them and then encouraging them to get started. So, I mean, all that is helpful, but they see that first on social media. Mm-hmm. And then, I just kind of like bookmark or do the highlights, like the story highlights. And then people can always go back, or I'll be like, okay, go check this out before you get it. So then they already know what to expect.
Selling, quote unquote, marketing in orthodontia has historically been frowned upon for some reason. And all of us, I believe, are always selling something. I mean, even if you're not selling, you're the orthodontist who doesn't sell, quote unquote, right? What's your take on that as you go on, the Instagrams and social medias of the world trying to share your story? How do you balance all that?
So I never honestly consider myself selling. I feel like it's more like educating. However, as I continue to grow my audience, I realized my ability to sell, which is interesting. So, again, when I do different posts, like in the engagements, like on the whitening pen, it's like, it is incredible, the kind of engagement and that people, that want that. So I'm starting to realize that I do have power to sell, but I don't like the feeling of selling. I do like the idea of marketing, and that's why everything that I do on social media is to let people know what things are like, in my life, personally, professionally, let them get to know me. And I mean, I personally like to follow people that, I can see they're a successful businesswoman, a successful doctor, but then you can also see their life. And, some people don't want to put their personal life out there, but I feel like that is for again, the future patients, for the consumer, the potential consumer, they like to see that. So if you can be a little bit more vulnerable and put yourself out there, people really do like that. And I think they appreciate that.
Why do people get ortho?
Because they want to look and feel better. They want to feel better about their smile. They want to feel confident.
If you look at like history here, and I said it in a previous post, but when we went from banded braces to bonded braces, our profession was in like, oh no, it doesn't work. Nobody wants this and that. But it grew the market from, X 100,000 starts to X million starts. And then 3M Unitech brought in clear braces, clarity braces. I mean, that was like the first mainstream ceramic braces. And the stories about that. People were poo-pooing on it. We shouldn't be marketing, yada, yada. But that grew the industry, and then clear aligners came in again, grew the industry, right? And then, what we're trying to do here at InBrace, growing the industry. And I really think that while there's a place for all these other things, and there are some orthodontists I know that are still banding 7 to 7 to this day, right? People don't want to feel worse before they feel better. People don't want to look worse before they look better. So with such a busy practice, Amanda, and doing, Invisalign, seeing all these patients, doing labial, like how did you have time to incorporate something new like InBrace? And with all these staff and all these, associates too.
So for me, that was definitely a question that I had at the very beginning, to think about bringing InBrace into my office, or it could be any technology, changing anything up. Your staff becomes used to a certain way. And, sometimes we worry about like, is there going to be resistance bringing something new in? My staff have been are accustomed to me always trying to do new things. So me bringing in a new technology is not surprising to them. They've just learned to deal with it. But personally, I was concerned about bringing lingual braces back into my practice. I had done some harmony and I felt like it was very labor intensive for me because I was the only one that was sitting and seeing the patient. And sometimes I would have to work on the patient by myself for like an hour. And as the practice became busier, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So away went the lingual in the office. It wasn't until I came down to Georgia and I saw Dr. Susie Podre's practice, and when you guys were all there, and she had like 35 lingual patients in that day, and it was really cool experience. But it was like a light bulb clicked because I realized at that point, bringing InBrace into our practice, it wasn't a heavy burden for me. I realized that delegation is incredibly important and that is the way that this is going to work. So I knew it was important for me to understand the product. It was important for me to understand how to do the setups. It's important for me to know how to place the wire, remove the wire, bond. But once I got myself figured out, and even when we did the trainings, it was heavily focused on the assistants. So InBrace is truly something that can be done like any other indirect bonding system that's out there.
One thing you did, and I'm telling to all the InBrace users out there, is you've really leveraged our clinical support, and you've really let your team sort of, learn the guidelines, learn the learning modules. And so, I'm just kind of somewhat protecting you a little bit for all the people that's going to DMing you questions as I post this. Please go through the learning modules and please go through the support system and all the stuff that InBrace offers. And,
the learning modules that you guys have are incredibly helpful for understanding how to do the setups. I mean, you really have to go through that to understand the different compensations that you need to build in. But I've had my team all go through it as well. So everybody, pretty much understands, how everything works. So again, the way that we've been able to incorporate this into a very busy growing orthodontic practice, which again was a question or concern of mine, is how I'm going to get this new thing in with all the other craziness that's like, over 100 patients a day, that kind of thing. And it's literally just letting your staff take it. And again, I'm still in control. I look at the patients every single time I see them. I know exactly what's going on with them, but just letting them handle the cases. I mean, that's been very helpful for us.
One last question. I said that like 5 questions ago, Amanda. And this is for the InBrace users, right? How many InBrace cases do you think you have to do before you start getting a little bit proficient?
Personally, I don't think it's about number. I think it's about time. Because you have to let the cases work out and then you have to finish the case, right? So some cases are going to be, start with the right case choices, like make the right choice on what kind of case you're going to treat. I mean, and these cases treat very, very fast. I mean, personally, again, I have InBrace on myself and I literally noticed my teeth move within 24 hours. And after 2 weeks, I would say 4 weeks, I was like, I think I'm done. But now I'm like, I think I have to keep these on so I can continue.
You have the consumer, you have the consumer ortho argument with yourself right now. Doctor, I'm done. No, you're not.
I'm done. Maybe I'll just take the top off. But but I didn't need that much. But again, you see changes. So case selection is definitely very important. It's not necessarily about number. I mean, I'd say number wise, like 5 to 10. To kind of get the hang of just getting things going. 5 to 10, I feel like personally.
Not then, 1 or 2.
Right, not 1 or 2. But then taking those 5 to 10 cases, right? And then just seeing how the progression of that goes. So now we're just kind of rolling, and now we're getting to the point where I am finishing cases. So understanding, finishing, elastics, when to do that, maybe treatment planning a little bit differently. So again, anytime you're incorporating a new technology, know there is a learning curve and it's not going to be perfect right away. It's about understanding what people want and then giving them what they want and having options for them to choose from, So, I mean, I recognize this, you recognize this, and
it's the sky's the limit, so that's what's exciting about it.
Yeah.
But I'm all in, so I'm 100% on board with InBrace.
Okay, Mama Bear. I've taken up enough. I've taken up enough of your time. Please send Ben my best and happy holidays and all.